Hello, my name is Navigator, and in today's video we're going to be going over my pickups from Saratoga Comic-Con in May of 2026 and Free Comic Book Day 2026. So yeah, Saratoga Comic-Con and then Ravenswood. I also picked up one other thing from GameStop. Why don't we start off with that? I was coming back from a Free Comic Book Day and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of getting back into Star Wars The Black Series. Let's see what GameStop has. And what a pull. Kyle Katarn. Even before I was a huge Star Wars fan, I always liked this guy. He was kind of like the cool Jedi that wasn't really a Jedi. He's like, or at least the guy that had a lightsaber that wasn't really like a Jedi. Now, I don't really know the lore of him, or at least I have forgotten after all these years, but him and Dash Rendar were two of my favorite characters from the whole Power of the Force and like the video games and the online versions, like the half canon stuff. You guys know what I mean. So it's really cool to get this figure, and this is awesome. So I'm showing him off a little bit here, but I will be doing an unboxing of this figure. And if you don't know who he is, you can pause the video now and read that little write-up. But I'm very, very excited to have found that. I feel like maybe I saw it a while ago and just forgot. But I almost just was totally had forgotten that they had even made him. So, speaking of Star Wars The Black Series, from Saratoga Comic-Con for 20 bucks, I did manage to pick up Commander Fox. And I think I already have this figure, but for 20 bucks, it was a good deal. And hey, you know, if I do have him, I'll trade him back in, maybe swap it out. We'll see what happens. But for 20 bucks, I thought that was a good deal. So, we have Rex as well, and I'll keep throwing them over here. Maybe we'll do a review. We'll see what happens with Rex, or excuse me, with Fox. I apologize, Commander Fox. If I was saying Rex, I meant Fox. Here we have a little keychain for Expedition 33. The artist made this by hand, and I was speaking with her. She was very nice, and I wanted to support her a little bit. I thought this was very cool. It reminded me of BioShock. I know it's from a different video game, but still pretty sweet. So we have that. What else do we have here? Oh, a bunch of knockoff Legos. There's a guy at Saratoga Comic-Con that always has these, and they're really good quality. I do love them. I'm not going to go super in depth. It's kind of just like a bunch of random 501st, but I also did manage to get all of the Bad Batch. So here, I'll just show this one off really quick. Here's Hunter here. And they're very good quality, I'm not going to lie. And they always come with like these like extra accessories and everything. Like the backpack and the armor kind of comes off of there. And the helmet here, you can see the face is pretty nice. I think that looks great on there. But this is not official Lego as far as I know. They're like $5 a piece. So that is pretty sweet. Yeah, so some Lego clones. And then speaking of that, speaking of the Bad Batch, from my friend Sean, from I guess Mansfield Collectibles, we'll call it. I grabbed some Star Wars The Black Series from the Bad Batch. So we have an Elite Squad Trooper here, which is pretty sweet. That was 15. And then for 30, we got the Imperial version of Crosshair. So I have Hunter. I got him years ago. Now we have Crosshair. I have Tech coming in the mail. And then I'll just need Echo and Wrecker. And I'll probably grab those on eBay tonight. But those will all be reviewed on the channel. And maybe I'll do like a video where I have all of them together and I'll do a big review. But that's it for the Star Wars stuff. The last couple of things we have here before we get to the comics. Number one, from Bone Steel. This is probably the last pop that I get from Bone Steel. It seems like he's kind of phasing out doing the Funko Pop paintings. But if you guys are watching my Saratoga Comic-Con videos, you'll know that I always grab a pop from him when I am there. Last year, I think it was the They Live one that I grabbed, or the Rey Mysterio, but I've grabbed Ninja Turtles ones, and I've reviewed them all on the channel here, so you can go back and look. But this is awesome, and Raphael, my favorite of the Ninja Turtles, and it's from the Eastman, the Eastman and Laird version. Actually, Casey Jones, that's who I got from him last year. Saratoga happens twice a year, so I buy two every year from him, but you guys know what I mean. However, this is super cool, and he gave me this at a great discount for $40, and I thought that was super sweet. So that is awesome, and I just love that custom painted Raphael swinging into the sewer look. That is just so sweet. So, shout out to Bone Steel. All right, I'm going to get these off screen. You guys can see it in the back here, but what a find. An absolute gem mint in-box, six-sided TNA wrestling ring. And this is, of course, from the Jax Deluxe days. I grabbed this for $75. I thought that was a steal. My friend actually picked it up for a similar price at a similar show. And I was like, you know what? I have to have it. This is just such a cool thing to have in box. So now I have an AEW ring in box. I have a WWE ring in box. And I have a TNA ring in box. This is pretty sweet. I will not be unboxing this on the channel. This is 1000% staying in the box. This is the only time that you will see it before it goes into the vault. And guys, it is just so clean. I mean, like, barely any damage. It looks like this thing just came off the shelf yesterday. And what year is this from? 2010. I don't know if you guys can see that right there, but right there, 2010. Just wild. What a great line of figures. What a unique playset, a six-sided ring. Just incredible. So there you go. Beautiful. All right, let's get to these comics, and then that will be it. All right, so starting off with the ones that I bought, we do have Jonah Hex, Riders of the Worm 1 and 2, and this is just a 5-issue miniseries, but I'm very excited to read that. And we also grabbed Circus Maximus here, number 1. That's a new series I'm trying to read. And then from the DC KO universe, The Kids Are All Fight. I'm trying to get all the comics from that universe. It's a good series, so there's another one to add. But these are all the free comics that I did get. So number 1, we have Conan, Tides of the Tyrant King. Pretty sweet. The DC Vertigo, The Nice House on the Lake, number 1. And then we also have Planet of the Apes, Alien, and Predator from, what is this, Marvel, I guess? Their little special. That'll be a fun read. And then I grabbed 2 copies of this, but it's, you guys know me, I'm a big Sharp fan. This is The British Are Coming, Graphic Novel Edition, Volume 1. And like I said, I grabbed another copy for my coworker. He's a big history guy. For another one of my friends, I grabbed this Avatar Legends one. I'm not a big Avatar fan. Or actually, I got this from my girlfriend. What am I talking about? She's a huge Avatar fan. So I grabbed that for her. We also grabbed Lock and Key number 1. I think this is a reprint of, Classics Presents Lock and Key number 1. This is like a very important, Image, IDW series, I forget, but it was cool, and I'm glad to have issue 1. I can actually read that now. Issue 1 of Avengers Armageddon, which was really cool. I love the cover on that. And this one was interesting. Decidium, I believe is what it says, Decidium. I thought that guy was really cool looking, so I picked that up for him. We also have this Masters of the Universe, also featuring Dungeons and Dragons. That was pretty sweet. This really cool cover for Flash Gordon. I thought that was just awesome, so I grabbed that. And there were more. These aren't all the free comics from Free Comic Book Day, but here is the Amazing Spider-Man, The Queen in Black, number 1. So there's that. This was really cool. Speaking of Lego stuff, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight comic book tie-in. That's really sweet, and I cannot wait for that game to come out. Then we have the DC Sonic the Hedgehog collab. Not a huge Sonic fan, but I am a big DC fan. That's pretty sweet to have. This was awesome. Supernatural issue 1. This is the Free Comic Book Day version. This was a great issue, guys. I mean, I heavily recommend it. I really had a great time reading this, and I've been picking them up. I still have to get, I think I'm like on issue 5 right now. I got to pick it up, but pretty sweet. And then we have the Energon Universe 2026 special. I've been hearing a lot about this through my research and interest in the G.I. Joe universe, because Transformers and Mask are kind of all in there. But this is really cool, and Mask is coming back. And then finally, we have the DC kind of main issue for today, and that was Next Level, featuring Lobo, Batwoman, and Deathstroke. I'm very interested as to what this is. So, very sweet. And folks, I'm going to leave it there. I actually have to go pick up a pizza, so I will leave it there. As always, folks, I'll tell you what this was. This was a review of everything that I got from Free Comic Book Day from Ravenswood Comics in New Hartford, New York, as well as Saratoga Comic-Con Spring Edition 2026. Now I will leave it there. As always, my name is Navigator. Have a nice day. Take care.